You ever get bored of anime? You know, when you feel like every show you try to get into is lame or predictable and nothing's really giving you that same kick anymore? Not even your favorite power fantasy harem. And the only thing that will save you from your melancholic depression is finding a new show that's so good, so unique. It single-handedly revives your passion for anime. Yeah, that's me the past couple of weeks. And I'm in a pickle, because if I don't find a show to fill the void quick, I'll be forced to go back to my other, less healthy hobbies. I can still do this. Just need heads here. Come on, heads. Fuck. And I'd really like to avoid that. So I leapt into action, storming Reddit for recommendations, devouring reviews on Mal. Hours flew by, and I got nowhere. Every show I found, I'd already seen. That, or they just kind of felt bland and generic. Were my standards too high? Could I have watched so much anime I became jaded with the stuff? My heart sank. And just as I was about to give up, I found Dandadan is an anime ranked in the top 3 most popular shows on Netflix right now. It was the 3rd best-selling manga in Japan last month, and was written by the former apprentice of the guy who made Chainsaw Man. Holy smokes! Is this it? Was this the show to pull me back into anime and save what's left of my finances? I stumbled to put it on, and as I sank my teeth into the first episode, I realized it was the same as every other shonen anime. The same over-the-top fight scenes, the same wacky humor, a high-energy, high-calorie junk anime that tastes really good, but you won't remember watching the next day. I was devastated. But then it happens. The show grows on you. The more you watch, the more it grips you, dragging you kicking and screaming to the edge of your seat. And that seat better have a seatbelt, because the next thing you know, you're on a roller coaster of emotions that you never stood in line for. And after just a few episodes, this Japanese cartoon about dick and balls had me, a grown-ass man, tearing up. We're back, baby. No, actually, we're more than back. Because by the time I hit episode 7, the show had me obsessed. And not in a good way. Why is the show so good? What's the secret? If we could just figure this out, we'd be able to spot great shows from a mile away. In other words, if we could dissect Dandadan and learned what made it tick, we would never have to go hungry for anime again. So, I started digging. And here's where it all falls apart. Because turns out, Dandadan is really hard to define. Like, if you put a gun to my head and told me to describe the plot of the show, I'd probably pull the trigger myself, because how do you even begin to explain something like this? Oh, it's a 12-episode long meme about a guy trying to steal his balls back from aliens? Because that's what it is! At the same time, it's deep and pointed. It's a show about empathy and connection, the importance of being open-minded, and a reminder of how stepping outside of your comfort zone can change your life. It's a show about nothing and everything at the same time, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. A welcome change from the rest of the stuff I've been watching, that's for sure. But this next part drives me crazy. I cry every time. Hands down, the most frustrating part of Dandadan is how it splices together different tropes from all kinds of anime. It's got action, comedy, romance, horror, drama. Dude, how are we supposed to break down this show if we can't even decide what genre it is? And it's not like the tropes are just there for no reason either. Every slice in this anime was made with precision and intent. You know how in other anime, you can cut out the comedy or the romance in a show and it'll still be the same show? Like, if you take the humor out of Demon Slayer, you'd still have Demon Slayer. Take the romance out of My Hero Academia, same thing. Not in Dandadan. The comedy isn't just for comic relief, it drives the story. The whole reason Momo and Okarun got their powers in the first place was because of the hilariously over-the-top hissy fit they threw at each other in the first episode. The romance shapes and transforms our characters, leading them to mature and aspire to be better versions of themselves directly as a consequence. The action speaks for itself. And the drama. Whew! We talked a little about this earlier, but man, this show can do drama. In what feels like a second, we flip from lighthearted laughter to pin drop silence. as our characters expose their vulnerabilities to each other, forging new bonds in the process. And while this is all great to watch, it makes our job a lot harder. We're over here trying to figure out the show, and it's just sitting there like, no. Dandadan refuses to be defined. It exists in this space between, skirting the edges of every genre out there, but never falling into any single one. And every time we get close to pinning it down, it throws us a reminder. Aww, that's so sweet. I think I'm gonna cry. What? They ended like that? It doesn't give a fuck. And it ain't shy about it either. Just watch how the opening song lures you in with the coldest hip-hop and proceeds to immediately switch into this almost sappy love song, expertly toying with our expectations and perfectly foreshadowing the rest of the show. They had us from the start. And in a way, maybe that's what makes Dandadan so special. Its utter defiance against falling in line with other shows. Its masterful integration of all the best aspects of anime. This show is an outlier, no doubt about it. Then it hit me. Instead of trying to dissect and analyze Dandadan, maybe we should just sit back and enjoy the experience the way it was meant to be.